What's going on, everybody?
What
Hello.
up? Yes.
Episode 50 of Hustling Sideways.
5-0.
Welcome. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
I'm Jim Love. I'm a keynote and motivational speaker. And we did not think we would get here.
Again, I thought we were going to do 5.
Yeah, like...
I thought this was going to be a short series.
At the most 10.
Yeah.
I had that, like, I thought we could get a couple folks and be like, all right, like, that's it. And we did a lot more than that.
We've done 10 times the amount of what I thought we were going to do.
Wait, hold on.
And more.
Yeah, about 10. That's 10 times. Yeah, nice.
And all the bonus stuff, too. I mean, we've done
great.
more.
So when we started this, you know, we'll just get into some stuff. But Alan and I met, and we were like, you know, not met, but met up, I should say. We met each other for the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're like, we should do a podcast.
And we were like, we'll like have a couple beers and just, you know, like not like a drunk podcast, but like in between, like
loose business
talk, yeah, and just like kind of comedy. And I mean, if you don't think we're funny, then you probably aren't watching anymore. So that's fair enough. Those people are gone, and that's good to know. But we obviously enjoy humor and comedy. But we didn't really anticipate like having that many folks to choose from. Nor we've said this 1,000 times, but we didn't anticipate it being beyond Milwaukee. It was like that's our world that we know, and just kind of assumed that was going to be the case. And that was not the case.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. We are still having some drinks.
Oh, yeah, that will never stop.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
correct. Yep, cheers. Happy 50.
Happy 50th.
That was a good drink break.
But we definitely changed the format of it as soon as we started doing it, and I think that's because we knew that we had something that worked.
Very much
I don't
so.
think that I ever anticipated this being a 2+ year venture.
And it really like has been. It's a significant amount of time. Like I'm sick of coming here.
Oh man,
you know. I don't mean
thanks.
Yeah, but you know, I've been to Alan's house probably
at least 50 times.
At least 50 times. If I'm doing the math right. Yeah. That's it. And I now know the way.
Okay, that's good.
Great. There's been no maps. Only time I've done maps in the last 20 episodes is to see which way was faster.
Yeah.
And typically it's 794. Shout out to 794.
You know, actually, we did have a day where we did like 3 episodes in one.
Oh, that was wild.
So we're like near 50 times we've been.
Dude,
over.
that was like, I remember how insane. I remember the last one was like at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And we were like eating. Like,
it was like a full day.
Yeah. We were just like, so behind the scenes here. We oftentimes just forget to record, or we're just life gets busy and we're like, oh shit, we have a schedule to keep up with. And then we're like, you know, one night we were like, okay, well, we have 2 guests that can come same night. One, I think they were both virtual. I think that was probably
yes.
And then we're like, well, let's record 2 bonus episodes. So we did 4
in
things.
A night.
I got home and I was like, it was like I had ran a marathon. I was so exhausted.
I didn't
talk to anyone. Yeah, the next day I just was silent at work, which was not good. I'm not supposed to be. And especially for a speaker to be silent, not a good thing. But there's been some really funny. So like, let's just. I mean, this person for sure does not listen to the show anymore. But we had someone very early on who we had in here, and one of our first like guests that we
one
didn't
of the
know.
early ones, and we weren't doing video at the time.
Yeah, it was just which is kind of weird.
An awkward situation.
Yeah, very awkward. But anyway, if you can imagine coming to a home of someone that you only met like through social media, I think it was like a DM or something once, and was like, let's do this show. Got here, and the vibe was like 1-word answers, and we're like,
yeah, it was just short.
Oh boy, very short and sweet. And if you've all been listening since then, kudos to you, because things have gotten a lot better, in my humble opinion. But,
you know who you are, Kyle Stanley.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
That's right. Shout out.
No, I actually see him now once in a while.
I do too. Yeah, he comes to Milwaukee a lot.
Yeah, no, it was just a weird thing, but you know what? Funny. We have grown as a show.
Yes, and as people.
Yes, and as people.
I have. I don't know about
it's
you.
the friends we made along the way, Jim. That was the real prize. No, we've grown this show definitely just in the way that we present it. Yeah. I think the amount of just content that we create in total has been, and you know, I think we're getting a little better at scheduling things.
I think so too.
For a while, we were doing, like Jim said, we would do like a really good streak of like we're hitting it, and we're just every week we're going, and we got somebody.
Just stop.
And then we would be like, oh, it's been like 6 weeks. We've got all this content.
Yeah.
And then we'd not talk for like a month or something, and be like, oh, we got to do this.
You reach back out, like maybe we should record that again. You know, it is. I will say, it is funny. Like I sound like such a loser when I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast. Like I hate when people say like,
I don't tell anyone.
It's the classic.
But I put it out.
I typically don't, unless someone would be a good guest.
Okay.
Like if someone gives me a reason to be like, oh, you would be really good on this, then I'm like, oh, actually, I do a podcast. Like I never bring it up. Like, yeah, no one talks like that, but you know what I mean.
I have a podcast, bro.
Yeah, like I like can't stand that, and some people do that, which is the worst. But it is funny to like say it's been. I mean, now. So this is what's the date when this is coming out? Just let me know, because it's not. It's January 13th right now, and that's not the date that this is coming out. What is it?
Monday is the 16th, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then this is the 23rd.
Happy January 23rd, which is what it is today.
Nailed it.
That was really good radio. But
yeah.
So that is almost 2 years to the date.
Yeah, from when we first started.
And if any of you have been following for a long time, the first 2 episodes were Alan and I interviewing each other.
Yep.
And just kind of like we did like a teaser record, right away.
Because we didn't know how to book guests yet.
Yes. We didn't even know we were going to have guests. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. We just were like, let's talk about having side hustles, did each other, and we're like, maybe we should see other people.
I don't think I even had a third microphone at that point.
I don't think we did at all. Yeah.
No.
It's just, and that was like, January 2021. It was just such a different world, a different time, you name it. And then like we reached out, my friend Megan, shout out, who's one of my best friends, and she's like, I would love to come on. And she came on, and it was so funny because like Alan and I were in the mode of copying and pasting questions we had sent like from our iPhone notes.
Yeah.
And like I had my phone up during interviews and just like reading a script, which is so unnatural. But like I didn't know how else to ask questions.
Right.
And then like, we would answer these questions back and forth. And then what I realized was that when we were like doing back and forth, I'm like, oh, like I prefer to just kind of react to what they say, add in a sprinkle of whatever dumb tidbits I have, and let Alan ask the real questions. Because let's be honest, Alan's the interviewer. I'm just here to look good. And,
I mean, it is.
I could tell him that, and really kind of learn a lot. So it's true. And then like now doing other people's podcasts too is a blast because like you understand how it works. Like you understand
the flow,
how much to share. Like it is funny when a guest comes on and they like spend 20 minutes after one question. Or actually, the opposite of that. They spend 20 minutes after one question and they apologize. I'm like, no, that's exactly why you're here. Like,
you're
go off on that. And then the other ones, to your point, like when they're just like, oh, yes, that's where I'm from, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us more about that.
Right,
like, you just kind of have to dive in. And it's funny when people are nervous too. We're like, we'll just guide you. Like, just come on, have a drink, chill out. And that's what I feel like is good. And people share a lot. I mean, we've had folks share some pretty significant things.
Absolutely.
Like emotional things and breaking news things and stuff about their life that they don't tell many people. And because they feel a sense of comfort, and it's like, you're here. Like, let's
been
share.
A wide variety.
Yeah.
I will ask you this. Do you think that you are a better like conversationalist at work now because of this, or like when you deal with clients or whatever?
Yeah, I'm a better, I would say I'm a better listener.
Okay.
Now. And it's because I've learned to put my phone away and just react in the moment. And so when I'm here is when I actually feel most like active and present because I have to be. And if I'm not, it's going to be a really shitty interview. You know, that's just the way it works. Do you feel like you're better
Absolutely.
At conversationalist?
So when I have meetings and things like that, I feel like I not only get the flow, but I don't get lost as much in a conversation.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Where I'm like, because when you'd have a meeting or something, you would think like, okay, I'm gonna say this or whatever.
Exactly.
And then that's not the case. You're like, in this sense, you're kind of like, I'm just gonna react to what you're saying.
Oh, I appreciate.
And you're actually listening more. It's crazy.
And for the record, oh god, the screen just shut off. What happened? I can't see the timer. Everything's messed up. There we go. We're good.
Kicked the wire, and now we're good.
I think
the setup is professional.
Yeah, everything's fine, and you all can't see that, but the screen just went blank, and then now we can see everything. We're back. We're good. We're set. But I certainly feel like I've gotten to, like, just to be a better communicator overall for sure. But when I first was here, I was so worried about asking all the questions I was anticipating, like I had sent them before.
Right.
And some people, I want to be clear about this. Some people who are guests do prefer questions sent beforehand.
Sure.
Like, which is fine. That's a way to do it. I don't like that way. I prefer to like give the premise of the show. Absolutely. Tell them how we do it, and then just react in the moment because it's less like the scripted part to me doesn't work. And then if you feel like it's off kilted because it's not scripted, that's when it's like, well, let's have an actual conversation.
Right.
But everyone's different. Some people have requested straight up, like, I need every question that you've said. And the other people are like, oh, that's a podcast name? I'll come on.
I don't write any. Good. Yeah, I was like, I don't write anything down.
And like, I'm thinking, like, this is our, so you probably, I don't know how many people can see this. Alan's handwriting is awesome, but this was our list of the last 10 guests we have. Sometimes we have to do a little bit like of a reflection on who we've had here. And it's been it was like a really interesting mix of people. Like
this is a mixed bag for sure. This last 10. So we had.
Totally.
I'll run down real quick. We had DJ Alpine, aka Topher Strudel 69 now on Twitch. We had Kyle Johan Baker, Tim Pauly from Broken Bat Brewing, Tom Nass, who's in ministry and was a carpenter.
Yep.
Kelsey Kaufman from the Cactus Club, Jarrell McNeil from Marquette Basketball, Stu Roach from Marquette Athletics as well. I'm blanking on the name of his.
He is like an assistant director.
Yeah.
And his side hustle.
My movement, yes.
That's why he was here. Yeah.
Brady Henderson from Cream City Law, and then comic Reagan Nimela.
Yeah.
I still screw up her name.
That's okay.
So we had DJs, we had concert bookers, we had carpenters, a brewer, a basketball player with a foundation, a stand-up comic. Like this is the mixed bag. This is what I wanted for this podcast. When we started taking on guests, I was like, all right, we know a bunch of people that do a bunch of different things.
And then those people also know a bunch of people who do different things, which is not the thing I was anticipating.
Yeah.
That's like, and I agree. Like, so right away when we started, it's like, we want to get all these people. I off the bat, I think we had like 25 people in mind of like, I know these people do something different.
I wish we had that initial list because we definitely didn't get all of them.
I have it in my iPhone notes for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah. You want me to like pull it up? Or
we'll talk after this.
Okay. No, fair enough. And it wasn't 25. It was less than that. But like we've interviewed probably, 23 of those 25. And those folks have introduced us to everyone else and the next thing and the next thing. And that's like the best thing you could possibly do after your guest in a podcast is intro. But as far as like this list goes, obviously, one of my favorites was having Tim Pauly on because Broken Bat's awesome. Tim's a great guy. Shout out to Tim, and about to be National Marquette Day here soon. So he's going to have a big day. And like, it was really cool because he had breaking news like during the show.
Yeah, the Marquette beer.
All this, there's a Marquette beer coming out for National Marquette Day. So if you're listening to this on the 26th, happy January 26th, shortly next week there's going to be a Marquette beer to try. And Tim and two other breweries that are all Marquette owned are brewing that beer.
Holding them to that. They have to.
They literally have to, like legally binding.
That is the day.
Yeah, so that was really cool, and just like hearing his perspective about like doing work in the bathroom at his old job and that type of thing. And then of course, having Jarrell McNeil on was awesome. He's a great guy.
McNeil, as two Marquette fans, you can't see it off screen, but there's a Marquette basketball hoop that is over there. We've been Marquette fans for quite a while,
a long time, and they're back. Also,
and
Jarrell is just. I mean, he listens to this show, so obviously shout out to Jarrell. Just a great guy. What he does is amazing. The reason behind it is amazing, and
McNeil Acker Foundation,
one of the more talented players who's ever come from Marquette, ever. And Chicago
I thought you were about to say one of the more talented players that's come on the show, and I was like, yes, he is the most talented basketball player we've
He's
had.
up there. He's for sure top 5. Yeah, I mean, I've been on the show.
I feel like if it's one-on-one, Jarrell McNeil's going to still take you.
Jarrell, we'll talk later if you're listening, but
we should set that up.
Highly doubt that.
We should set that up for Instagram or something.
I got a long wingspan. I can take him. But it was just really cool. It was really cool.
I just want to see you get dunked on.
Yeah. And then like someone like Alpine, hearing his stories, he's a DJ, about being at like clubs and then just like trying his hand at playing different songs.
Yep.
And he just got good at it. It's like, I can do
he
this.
surprised me, and I've known Alpine for a long time. I brought him on, and he surprised the hell out of me because like there was a lot of like he was very insightful as far as, not that DJs aren't insightful people,
that's a stereotype now,
right? But very insightful as to like thinking about like how to like manage a crowd, how to think on your feet when things go wrong.
There's significant parts like that's all important,
and like. When I talk to him, we don't talk about those sorts of things normally.
Yeah,
we talk about, hey, what's the show like tonight? Do we have music in time? Do we have whatever we need? We don't ever really go into the insight of like, hey, this is why I'm playing this song. It's like, yo, drop that.
It's fascinating, isn't it? I think when people are dedicated to their craft and it seems like it's just whatever when you're there, but then you learn about it later on of like it's actually a science, which is why I love meeting people that like are into that. Like they have a story behind what they're doing and they're also really damn good at it.
Yeah.
And like here's what they've learned along the way. And it's all an art. I mean, whatever you're into, like I mean, carpentry, like that's like
I was gonna say
Tom does that and it's an art. Like he's got to do it really well. He's got to be relational and the whole thing. It's like whatever your focus and passion is, you have to get really good at it in order to make it profitable or just make it something that people want value from.
Right. And thinking about this, we also have a lot of people that do things that are completely different from their day jobs
Very
this
much
time.
so. Yes. Yes.
Which in our last 10, we had some, but I mean, really more than this. We had, like I'm thinking of, well, obviously Tim Pauly was at Direct Supply, who's in an office 9-to-5 job, left that for a brewery to, just go for it.
Yeah.
Kelsey was here to talk about Cactus Club and also making candles.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I mean, that goes right along with each other, right?
I mean, Reagan Niemela, a paralegal, but she's also a stand-up comic.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and Tom's a carpenter and now a social worker for his master's. I mean, it's just like people and which I think is important to note. Like, you can be multi-interested in a lot of things, and you can try your hand at something, and maybe it's your real job, maybe it's your side hustle, but like you don't have to be relegated to one subject matter that you're really smart at. You can do whatever you want.
Alpine being a DJ and also working at a bank.
Oh, I forgot that he worked at a bank.
Yeah, I call him DJ Day Job when I see him. Because when I see him because he works at a bank that is attached to a grocery store, so I'll walk in and say, "What up?" I call him DJ Day Job, or I've seen him.
That's great.
He'll show up like right from work to get to a gig sometimes, and I'll be like, "Oh man, DJ Day Job's here because he's got to run to the bathroom and change or something like that." Like out of his
I love that
banking
that's
apparel.
Great. Yeah,
which, as somebody that had to do that stuff, I get it.
Oh, dude, I mean, I've come from like wearing the wrong stuff. I got to get changed right away, 100%.
Yeah,
and it's just fun. It was a mixed crowd, and I mean, people that in. A lot of these people, let me go through this list here. So like I would say at least three or four of these folks I met through either networking or through someone else.
Sure.
And that's important. Some of these are our friends, that we've brought along, but every time you go to something, it's going to be an opportunity to meet someone. And of course we've learned that by getting people for this show. And when we share it, they're like, have you ever had someone that you've shared this show with and they're like, I'm not really interested? I've never had that.
Actually, now that you say it, like the amount of people I've actually had, the amount of people that have just talked to me and been like, "Hey, I saw your podcast," or I listened to an episode of your podcast. And I'm like, "You mean the radio show that I do?" And they're like, "No,
the other one,
the one, Hustling Sideways." I'm like, "Oh,
that's
like,
nice."
It hit a lot more people than I actually thought that it would.
I have a couple people who have texted me like when Spotify does their year-end wrap-ups, the number one thing that they listened to, like podcast-wise, was this, which is really cool.
Look at us being humble.
Yeah,
of course we knew that.
Yeah, no. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal. We'll just keep it going. But it's fun. I mean, there's a chord struck when people I can identify with folks who have passions, and I think for our generation especially, a lot of people do, and they pursue it. I mean, I feel like probably our parents had different passions, but like they had to focus on their job and their family and keep it going. And like we're not afraid to go out and try something. And if we fail, sure, we'll learn a lot from failing. So I think
part of that is that generational thing is like really on expectations.
Yeah.
So like you said, like when, the generation above us was all about like they need, I need the house, I need the car, I need the wife or whatever. Boom, boom. Like I need to have these things. And like our generation kind of looked around and went, what if we did our own thing? You know what I mean?
What if I didn't do that?
Well, I think we also had a generation above us too that like, I mean, look at people that are in power at day jobs and things like that. They're all older for the most part.
Right. And like that generation,
and we all thought weren't going to get there.
Yeah. Like their parents grew up during the Depression. Like for that, like they were raised in a way like that they had to make it, and I'll give, I mean, and a lot of them did, and the work ethics there, it's there for our generation too. We just don't like, we never really saw like horrific, economic times where we feel like we can go and I mean, we may be facing some of that soon, who knows, but generally we feel like we can make our own path. And I think that's important. And the more passionate I think our generation is, the better. And when you're put in situations where you have people supporting that or like, go ahead and do your thing, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah. And I think the internet too, really, when you think about it, is a game changer in the sense of, our parents' generation probably looked at stuff and said, I could do this. I could start my own business doing this.
Yep.
But then they never saw anybody that ever did it.
Right.
And so they didn't know. You know what I mean? Like they just never made the jump because they never saw it.
Yeah.
So like our generation, not only can you look up literally anything in the world, now you can do it in your pocket. We sound old. But not only you can do it in your pocket, but like this next generation of kids coming up are gonna just have that fed to them through like their algorithms and stuff.
Yeah.
So even if you thought about like, I'm gonna open a jewelry business,
you're
little
gonna
kid,
have 1,000 ads about jewelry.
a million, and then you're also gonna have like kids on TikTok that started it and then they're like doing it,
which is like a good thing.
Yeah,
like I know sometimes we're like,
I think
a bunch of 30-year-olds
really
complaining. Like we're that's good. That's a positive thing where people should feel empowered to do their thing and see representation in the thing that they want to pursue.
It's very easy to think that the world is getting dumber. I think that the world is getting very much smarter. And that this younger generation is really going to have the world at their fingertips, literally,
quite literally. Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
I think we are going to have a smarter generation in that sense too. You know, I mean, we make jokes about like how these kids grew up with iPads and whatever, but like, there's a lot of promise in kids growing up with like not being afraid of tech.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know we just did a bonus episode. Spoiler alert: next week's on technology.
Just filmed it.
But so my parents' generation, like using computers. Some of them are like, I'm gonna break this phone
like,
or whatever if they touch it wrong. You know what I mean? If I touch the wrong part of it,
there's
I'm
like
gonna break
a fearfulness around it or something,
and then I'll never get it back.
Yeah.
I think now kids that grew up with, I mean, I'm not an advocate for like, go give your kid an iPad and let him zone out forever. But like the little bit of like the motor skills almost of like, hey, if I,
understand it.
If I touch something wrong on this, I didn't screw it up forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like kids are willing to break stuff to, and learn from that.
Yeah, and it's important. And I as someone who speaks to these, students, I see it too. I mean, they're as connected as they've ever been. Also, like this generation of students is the one that had a lot of stuff canceled that was significant.
That's true.
And we're not together for a lot of it. And I think that they value being together now more than they ever have before. Like when I was doing leadership seminars and stuff this summer, I could feel that. Like they were so happy to be there and happy to be with each other, and there was no like drama. There was no like that kind of stuff, and they had that taken away from them, and it wasn't their fault. And so now they're like, I want to just be with my friends, and there was not like cliques formed. Usually you just kind of see that right away.
Right.
And and granted, this is the cream of the crop students, but from what I've seen, like they really value being there. And then now this technology brings them together, in different ways too. So it is important. And obviously it's going to have its downfalls. I mean, it's just a reality, but
there's a downside.
It's not like it's going away,
Not over here. We try to keep things positive.
We do. Everything's good here. We're fine, but I think it's important. So that was really cool. I guess my question for you is, like the next 50, what do you feel like? And I mean, that's coming. We have things brewing for those who have been listening for a while. Probably going to have something that we're going to be doing with Marquette, like a live series coming up, hopefully in the next couple months. And
knock on wood.
I'm speaking into existence because we had a really good meeting about a month ago. But like, what do you feel like is coming, or what do you want to see? And
the next 50, I want it to be even weirder. Like, so this last 10, like I joke that like I bring on the weird guests, quote.
You do, but that's fine.
But like, I don't know. I have a very wide array of people that come into my world, right? So I want it to be even weirder, like people that do things that we've never even thought of as businesses.
Yeah,
I would love to try and talk to somebody that's in a different part of the world.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Another country would be amazing. And we've had some.
We had one Canadian.
We did have a Canadian. Yes, shout out to Dave Campbell, who I know listens to this. Dave is one of our biggest fans. So Dave, come on back. Actually, we could probably even have recurring guests if we want to. Someone who comes back and says hello again.
You know what the great thing is about doing this sort of thing and doing a side hustle in general is there's no rules.
There's not. So this is our show. Don't you dare tell us what to do. But I agree. I think that would be amazing because there is a lot. We are living in a global time, where anybody can talk. I
really thought again you were going to say a global world.
I was about to.
Yeah,
I was about to.
The world is global,
and I knew Alan would make fun of me, and so I didn't. So that's the bullied relationship that we have here on this podcast. It's great. I always feel put down. We gotta love it, but it's I think everyone's really connected, and we can find someone that does it. If you're listening right now and you know someone who lives in Chile or Brazil or Antarctica and has a wonderful igloo side hustle,
it would be helpful if they spoke English, because
we could figure this out.
Actually, you know what? Google, we could subtitle
We'll make it work. Send them our way. We would love to talk to people. And in all seriousness, I think it'll be really cool. I agree with you. I want it to get weirder. I want people that have stuff that, I want to meet someone who's like a circus clown.
Yeah.
And as also works at a bakery during the day.
So, we're looking for circus clowns and people abroad. Mm-hmm. I think we can do that.
Yeah, that's not very niche, is it? We can figure that out.
No, not on this show.
Yeah, we're good.
The great thing about this show is nothing is niche because we're talking about everybody's niche.
It's all there. Oh, that was pretty damn profound.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Every once in a while, I get a good one. I wish I would think
it's only every once. It's probably once every 50 episodes.
Those are the ones that make TikTok. Is when I have the good ones. That's when like YouTube short.
And I will say, so one thing that has worked really well for us in different ways is YouTube Shorts. It's been really cool. I saw log into YouTube, and I forget that Alan does it. Let's be honest.
We're on it.
And I'm like, wait a minute, that guy looks like me, and I'm like, oh, it is me. And I listen to it, I'm like, I'm pretty smart.
Or you look at it and you see like, oh, it's got hundreds of plays.
Yeah, what's going? That must be fun. I'm like. Oh, that's because we had one about leadership styles when I was talking about that.
That's still our best one.
Had like 3,000, 4,000. I mean, it had a lot of hits. That was really good. And I mean, that's probably not a lot, comparatively to the world, but for us, that was pretty cool.
For two guys making things out of an office in my house,
pretty cool.
For us to be like, oh wow, like 3,000 people saw that,
something like
however
that.
many.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was cool. I should check how much that has.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll do that in a second.
Yeah. This
is the active listening thing I was talking about.
As he goes to his phone.
Yeah.
No, we have a great wide variety of guests. I really do like. I think it's about even on who introduced who this time.
Yeah, I think
Let's see.
So.
You had 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna count. I'm gonna give you Jarrell McNeil 4.
Well, yeah. Well, you didn't introduce him to me.
6, 4.
Yeah.
So more Jim this time.
Are you saying I'm winning again?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, so I mean that is also kind of to pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
Part of why we do this too is because we're increasing our network of people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you and I know very different people, which is good. Come from the worlds that we come from. We do know some of the same people, of course, but generally the thing Alan and I have always shared in common is that we like to meet people.
Oh yeah.
And we like to hear their stories, and that's what this is. That's an opportunity for us to sit down and just genuinely hear a story.
I told my wife yesterday we were going somewhere, and it was by people that she works with, and I'd never met these people, and I don't know, views might not align with some of them. And she was like, "Just so you know," I was like, "I can talk to anyone." Yeah, I really do think,
gonna be okay.
And that is something that was not always the case, especially before this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think that I could really say, I can sit down and have a conversation with anyone.
Right.
There were definitely interviews that I did years and years ago where I just got nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing, and I try to wrap it up, and it'd be like a very short file on my computer.
Yeah, that's funny.
Do we even put this out? Because there's nothing.
If you approach with a genuine curiosity, and I mean, not to bring the Ted Lasso into this, but be curious, not judgmental. I mean, that's the secret sauce of where I think why people feel comfortable to share things. I actually literally want to know why they did that, and it's something I've known nothing about. I'm learning. I'm like, well, tell me how. When I think when Reagan was on, recency bias here, but I wanted to hear how she formed a joke and and what that was like compared to other comedians, and that's so fascinating to me. And then Alpine asking questions about the music you pick. There's a world out there of stuff that you have no idea about. You just have to ask. And that's what we like doing. And we've always shared that passion, which is why this has worked really well, of course. Yeah. And I think we'll continue to for the next 500 episodes. I'm calling that one as we do more. But what I other than being weird, which I agree with next year next 50 to get more weird folks. I think we're going to try out some different mediums too. We'll probably do some live shows. We'll have we'll get creative in the way that we're delivering stuff. So we've been talking about doing maybe a show at a brewery once, or just different ways like that, which we may end up kind of doing, and getting people in Milwaukee who have listened to the show or have a side hustle to come out and just be in a live show and film it that way. And
we'll travel.
Yeah,
we're willing to travel.
Yeah, we're going to do anything.
To do whatever.
It'll be fun, and we're willing to be sponsored.
Yes.
give that one an awkward silence. We're willing to be sponsored. What do you think?
Yeah. You should put in little music afterwards.
Yeah. Take it away. So that and I just think generally we want to keep the party rolling and have fun with it, because it's something that we didn't really expect to have gone. I mean, 50's a lot. Most
podcasts don't get to 50 episodes.
No.
And really, when you think about how many that we've done, plus like bonus episodes and things like that, because we don't really technically count those as episodes.
We don't. Yeah, that's a good point. So
we might have made 80
yeah,
at this
probably,
point. I don't know.
Because we've probably started bonuses, around 20 or so?
I don't know.
If I had to guess.
At some point, I said, hey, we should put a camera up and talk, and then we can put that on YouTube.
And then we did it.
And now every time we put cameras up and put them on YouTube.
And I guess that's what is fun, is just like evolving. We're like, sure, let's do that. Like, why not? It's cool to have that. And this is something that I would encourage you all in your side hustles to do, is just try it. Like, if you find an idea that you feel like could be cool, try it. The worst that happens is you're back at square one. And some of the stuff that we decide to do doesn't always work, but it's fun to try, and it's fun to learn a lesson. And if it goes well, fantastic. If it doesn't, okay. What are you gonna do? I mean, it's like fair. That's how people get better, and we've evolved that way. And I've learned so much from doing that. Of like, let's try something new. Let's just see what happens if we did this.
The Wayne Gretzky thing? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I think Michael Scott said that, but yes,
he said that Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, it's true though. I mean, really, like, to go in and try it out, and like, if we weren't having fun, we wouldn't do this anymore.
Yeah,
because it's just like it's a lot of time. I mean, we come here and we have to schedule these and like get people on board, all this kind of stuff.
We've both definitely had days where we've come in and we've been like, man, I don't know about doing an episode today. I'm not feeling it. I had a rough day at work. I had whatever was going on.
Yeah, totally.
But you know what? I think when I get in here and we talk to guests and we talk about their world a little bit,
it helps.
And we don't think about ours.
Yeah.
Or at least not in the sense of like, this is the top priority.
Exactly.
I think that immediately it's like it just makes your day better.
It does. Yeah,
you're talking to somebody, and like when we have an episode that goes well, we both know
it's a great time. We finish and we're like, that was awesome. Like, Alan will like stop the recording and we'll like have done the like keep on hustling whatever that I'm about to do in another 10 minutes here, but like we'll stop, we'll do that, and we're like, man, that was a damn good interview. You know, if someone's in the room, we'll do the same thing.
I would say,
thank you so much.
I would say, or I text you afterwards, and I'm like, dude, that was
awesome. Yeah, and it's just like we've had a couple. I would say like 8 or 10 where we finished and we're like, holy shit. Like, that was an amazing interview.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
a lot of them, a lot in the last few episodes.
Yeah, there's been a few.
You know what? We're really getting good at this, damn it. We are getting, what if that was just, we just ended on that?
Yeah. We're always good. Yeah.
We're always good and seen.
Yeah. Good. Thank you for coming out.
This podcast is getting better.
Yeah.
But I think we are getting better at hosting it. Mm-hmm. And I think our guests are also getting comfortable with knowing our format and being able to see more and things like that. So
and they come in and they get it right away, and it's like, let's just have some fun with this. We'll guide you and we'll do it. So it's been a blast. I mean, 50 is a number I'm proud of, and it's on my resume. No, I'm kidding. Well, it should be. Actually, you know what? I should put this shit on my resume. That would be really.
This should be on your pitch sheet for when you send out to schools and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited for what's to come. And again, Alan and I have some good stuff planned for 2023, where if you're listening to this and you have been like, I have a side hustle, maybe I want to go on, come on by. We're a lot of fun. We'll have you on Zoom on the video here or right next to me, which, sometimes that's not good, but I'll let you be the judge of that. And it's great. And I think
he comes here right from the gym. No,
I do. I just smell horrifically.
Horrific.
Yeah, there it is. But I think my biggest takeaway is, I'm having a good time, and I don't like that's the best part. Is I like to meet people. We've met 50 of them, and they've been great, and we're excited for the next 50, and it's gonna be a fun journey, and we welcome any comments, feedback, and anytime you want to come on. But we're excited, and I think it's gonna be a really cool next 50.
Yeah, I really do. So I kind of got a little burned out at the end of the last year. But I came into 2023 and I really think like this is the year a lot of doors are going to open just for me in general, but I think for this show as well. I think like there's a lot of good things on the horizon. So I'm going to be that optimistic the whole time. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
Dude, hell yeah. And you know what?
And you can be part of that.
I just did, this is a personal thing, but I just did a keynote about a week ago.
Yeah.
And since that one, I've booked 4 more for
there we
this
go.
year. And my speaking world for in person was just not going that long, for a while. And it's back. And I'm really thankful for that. And there's going to be a lot more to come this semester and into next year. And, I should say into the spring semester, and I'm pumped
into next
So,
school year. Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be good.
I'm back to doing interviews live with people at shows. I'm back to going to concerts.
Yep.
I've been to 3 shows the last 2 weeks.
There you
something
go.
Like that. I mean,
we're
at least
back, baby.
just hanging out at sound checks, getting interviews, but like content wise, that was something I had no motivation to do, and now I'm back at that.
Yeah,
so
it feels good. So we want to be back and stay back, and honestly, like I know many of you listening to this right now have been listening for a long time, and we just so appreciate that, and we're excited, and we love bringing content. We obviously Alan and I don't take life very seriously. We just enjoy it and have fun.
I was about to say you listen to a whole podcast about doing a podcast.
Yeah, which is kind of effed up, but here we are.
You know what? I mean. If we can't talk with ourselves, who are we going to talk?
Who are we? Yeah. So keep on listening, keep on hustling, of course.
There we go.
And be with us to the journey. We're excited to have you guys, and it's been a real pleasure. And we're not going anywhere other than to the moon. So we're excited, and there's going to be a lot more come.
We should quickly say,
yes,
you can rate this show 5 stars.
You can
do that, because that helps us.
That does help us a lot.
You can also subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us all over the place that we talked about: Facebook, Twitter,
everywhere.
Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Yep.
That's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of them. There might be more. Who knows?
Yeah, there probably will be at some point.
By the time this thing comes out, by the time our 100th episode comes out, we'll be on something completely
I'm
new.
sure that's gonna be
you
wild.
on Bleep Blop yet?
Bleep Blop.
Oh,
did you just make that up?
Yeah,
I was like, what are you talking about? I literally thought that was one.
You'll know by episode 100.
Yeah, I'll know what that is.
Bleep Blop is what all the kids are on. No, actually, I don't know. I'm on Be Real.
All right, end the show. Go ahead.
Anyway, you can be on the show too. Send us an email. It's hustlingsideways@gmail.com. I almost forgot what it was.
Alan, just shut the hell up.
We will not.
Yes.
We will keep going.
We're excited.
A lot more.
Yeah, let's do this. So I guess I'll close this out.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Keep on hustling. 50 and way more to come.
We'll see you next time.